All right, guys, welcome to our Friday noon Zoom. We're so excited to have you guys here. This is where Dr. Doug Firebaugh opens up his Wealth Fuels noon Zooms that he does, and he opens it up to the entire home business industry, entrepreneur industry, wherever you wherever you fit in that category. You can come here and get just some incredible coaching and training on mindset, on business building, on anything that's going to help you to just really grow both in your mindset and in your business. So it's just incredible. We have a good time here. There's amazing leaders that come and we go around and we share ideas and trainings and things that are working for us. Last week was a lot of fun. We all shared our best tips. So if you didn't see that one, make sure to ask us for the replay. I've created a Noon Zoom playlist where we can have that available too. So if anybody wants that link, I don't think I've quite yet figured out how to share it. That's the only thing, but I'll figure it out. So that is available if you guys need it. But we're here today for a really awesome training. If you're excited about 2024, you are going to be way more excited about it after this Zoom, because Doug and I went through the slides. He's created just this incredible training. I'm excited for what you guys are going to hear here. And it's just really going to set your mindset up where you're going to have not only just an explosive beginning to 2024, what does it look like through the entire year? What are you really truly setting yourself up for right now to know where you're going to end up? And what if you did even better, right? That's really where your mind is going to be going here with this training. So Dr. Doug, I'm going to let you start it off because
Are you recording it?
Yes, I am. I think so. Make sure. Is it not recording? Yeah, it's recording.
It's recording. Good. Guys, what we're going to do is we're going to ask a simple question. How serious are you about 2024? Seriousness is the intensity that you give something attention to. That's what serious is. Serious is also a mindset, but the mindset, you give special and additional attention to something you're serious about. It's that simple. And in 2024, which will be happening in the very 3 days, you got to ask this question: how serious are you? Because a lot of people I know, they don't even know what they're looking for in 2024. I've been talking with some folks and I've been asking them just a simple question. What do you see for 2024? And they're like, well, I don't know. It's election season. It's this, it's that, at least here in the States. And I said, that's not what I asked. What do you see for 2024? Well, it could be this, it could be that. What you see is what's going to be in your year. Your view will always determine your do. I've been saying that for 25 years. Your view will always determine your do. And your seriousness level will always determine your approach to this business. And what do you see for 2024? I see everybody on this, as well as watching it from a video standpoint. I see nothing but massive increase. The Lord told me about 3 weeks ago that the word for 2024, at least for me, is execution. He's executing on a higher level, more intense, a much more powerful way to engage things. There are 4 mistakes that are made every year with network marketing distributors. Number 1, repeating the same actions and expectations from last year. The number 1 thing that people are going to do is repeat the same actions from last year. And repeating the same actions from last year, you're saying, wait, hold on, Doug. What are you talking about? Of course, you got to repeat the same actions. The basics, this, that, and the other. You're not hearing me. Repeating the same year actions. The actions at this level in 2023, your actions need to be at this level in 2024. You need to take it up a notch in intensity, take it up a notch in skill set, take it up a notch in belief, take it up a notch in impact. You have to get past last year's actions, because even your thinking, last year's thinking won't work in 2024. You're wasting your time. Because if you haven't upped your thinking, leveled it up to at least another level or 2 in your mind, getting ready for 2024, you're going to have the same 2024 as 2023, 2022. I know people have been in this business for 15 years, and they've had 15 one-year experiences, not 15 years. because they've never moved past that first year emotion, that first year expectation, and that first year growth. Making plans you're not serious about. Most people in network marketing, they're going to be all up and they're going to get on Zooms, they're going to do live events, going to do luncheons and all this other stuff. They're making plans they're not serious about. How do you know you're serious about it? Because you're not focused on the activity, you're focused on the result. Let me repeat that. You're not focused on the activity. You know you're going to get it done. You know you're going to get it done in a way that probably most people can't do. People that are truly serious about making plans, you're focused on the results and you're not setting goals. Hear me out. You're not setting goals. What you need to start doing is planning achievements. And the reason why is very simple. Because when you plan achievements and not look at it from a goal setting standpoint, 90% of the goals set in network marketing, or I'll be conservative, 70% of the goals set in network marketing are never hit. But it's a mindset, because when you set a goal, you have to go after it. But when you plan achievements, you're already after it. It's already there. You've already achieved. You're just planning the markers. You're planning the action that it's going to take. So making plans you're not serious about, I would probably suppose that that's going to happen a whole lot. Do not make that mistake this year. This coming up year is going to be the best year that we've seen in network marketing ever. Ever. Why? Me and the Lord have been talking. And I know that there's going to be a lot of surprises in your business. Angel, you want to take 3 and 4?
For sure. Letting your habits override your desires. And when Doug and I were talking about this yesterday, I said, we think of habits as being negative, right? We think of them as habits, like the negative habits that we do, the things that, you shouldn't do. But you don't actually realize the habits that you're doing every single day that you're not realizing are habits that are actually impacting your business negatively, right? The things you're doing or the things you're not doing. You may be in the habit of just not doing. You may be in the habit of knowing what you should be doing, but you're in the actual habit of not doing those things, right? So be honest with yourself and really sit down and think, it's not about, oh, I don't smoke, I don't drink, I don't eat bad, all of this. What are the habits when it comes to building your business? What are your mental habits? We see this all the time. People get a little bit going a little bit, they get a little bit positive, they're getting some results, and then it's just self-sabotage. You go back into your mental habits. And those mental habits do override your desires. You may have a desire to want to do something, but if you're not actually changing your habits and making that happen, the desire is just dead. So how do you awaken that? How do you bring that to life? How do you bring your desires up? Letting negative people and thinking have way too much impact. I'm pretty sure all of us have been or are guilty of this on a daily basis. Your mental game, your mental talk to yourself needs to be on point. You need to be talking to yourself and changing your thought patterns. When we go back to habits there, changing the habits of what you're thinking. How are you talking to yourself? A long time ago, Doug told me in one of our coaching, I was in one of his groups, and he told us to carry around an empty notebook in our purse with us at all times. Every single negative thought you have that day, write it down. And then at the end of the day, take a look at it and go, holy, I'm not talking to myself good here. I'm really not thinking good about myself. I'm not thinking good about my future. I'm saying I want to achieve this in 2024, but what are my thoughts and my words actually doing to sabotage that? And it's just something you have to change. It works. It's the simplest thing. It's the simplest magic of when you actually change how you think and talk, of what actually happens and what the results, when Doug talks about results, those results of that thinking. What results do you want to have from what you're actually speaking into the world? And then do you really know what you're truly capable of? Doug, yesterday you said it best. Most people have no clue what they're truly capable of. And where does this come from? Is this lack of belief? Is this because of words that the negative people have spoken into your life? Is it because of something you're holding on to or an identity that you're holding on to? Or have you ever even allowed yourself to see yourself as somebody truly capable of greatness? We want it, we think of it, we see others go and achieve it and get it, but do you believe it for yourself? And that's a total different question. Go ahead, Doug.
If you look at the word habit, the last word in habit is bit, B-I-T. And you know what a bit is? It's what goes into a horse's mouth to guide it. It totally controls that little bit, controls the horse in just about every move to the right, to the left, slow down, speed up. And that bit is just like a rudder on a boat. And if you look at habit, that little bit, that little thing that you're doing that you're probably not even aware of because you're so comfortable, and don't even get me started on that conversation, it's going to lead you back to where you came from last year. You need to wipe the slate clean right now. And you need to get this in, and I'm getting it in my own brain. 2024 is going to be the year that changed everything. Period. It's going to be the year that changed everything. And the reason why is pretty simple. Because you have decided it's going to be. It says in the Bible, thou shalt decide upon a thing and it shall be established, and the light of God's glory shall shine upon his ways. If decision is that important, and we all know what decision is, the Latin word is decidere, and it means to cut off. There's no other possible outcome. You've cut off every other possible outcome. And this is the reason why that you have to look at it in that manner. Next slide. We'll call on Alan here and on this slide. Many people approach the new year with, gee, I hope this year's going to be better than last. Angel, why don't you take the majority of the slide because you really resonated with it when we went over the slides.
For sure. I think that right there is something we all do every single year. We, December 31st, whoops, I'm dropping my phone here. December 31st, we have all this hope. We have our New Year's celebration. And what happens when we wake up on January 1st? Somehow, even that excitement, even within one day, it can be gone. All of a sudden, you're in those habits. You're procrastinating. You're saying why you won't. You're still in that holiday mode. You start to think differently. Bills start to come in. All of a sudden, there's not that holiday spirit. It literally can happen that quickly, and does for most people. So you say, gee, I hope. Well, gee, I hope isn't going to change anything. How about this? This is the year that is going to change everything. Everything. What if your relationships were more whole? What if you were able to do more? What if you were able to bring joy to other people more? It's not just about business and money. What if this is the year that everything changed? And write down where everything's at right now. What if you could change all of it? If you don't like where things are at, then you need that change. And if you can, it can and it will if you make that decision. And yesterday, Doug, you said consideration is not a decision. Considering having a better year is not a decision to. Saying that you hope it will, gee, I hope this year is better. Please, God, please make it better. That's not a decision. A decision takes the action. A decision takes the changing of habits. A decision isn't easy. It's work. It's changing everything. You have to change everything to change everything. 2024 is the year of new beginnings. And if you add up 2024, it is 8, and 8 is the biblical number for new beginnings. So how powerful is that? Does anybody else here raise your hand if you feel like there's just something different about 2024? And not in the normal, oh, gee, I hope it's going to be better. There is power coming into this year. There are things shifting, conversations that I've been having with people where we're all kind of experiencing a different kind of growth, different kind of things moving out of our lives, different ways of things moving because of decisions you're already making that you don't even realize that you're doing, and you're being set up for your best year ever. And if you truly believe that and you truly decide that that's what this is for you, you can step into the power of this biblical number in your year. This is power. This is a whole energy shift in our entire world is coming in 2024. So do something new this year. Think something new, achieve something new, expect something new, reach for something new. Write that down, guys. I'm going to say it again. Do something new. Think new, achieve new, expect new, reach for new. What one new thing could you do in 2024 that would ignite the success that you dream of? And most of the time, that's something we know that we're not doing already. we all know what we should be doing. We hear what we should be doing. We're going to have a great conversation coming up here on just with 2 a day, what that can look like in your year coming up. What is one new thing you could do? And maybe it is health wise. Maybe you just get up in the mornings and you start taking care of yourself first. Maybe you start to your day off with prayer or meditation. The one thing you know that isn't setting up doesn't have to be just, oh, I haven't prospected enough. I haven't talked to enough people. What is one new thing that you could implement this year that would completely ignite your success? And if you don't know what that is right now, think on this and decide it for yourself. Decide and commit and take the action to get the result. Doug, I'll pass it to you.
I want you to write this down, guys, for taking notes. The TOT factor, TOT. We taught this for years with our team, the TOT factor. What is that? The TOT factor. That one thing. The power of that one thing that would change your business, no matter what action it is, no matter what emotion it is, no matter what result it is, it doesn't matter. That one thing, what is it in your business? What is it with you? Because the TOT factor is the single most powerful factor in pivoting, going a different direction, going higher, increasing, accelerating, multiplying. What one thing, that one thing that would make all the difference? This is right here's the place. You got to start thinking about that. And the reason why is because everybody knows it's that one thing that when it ignites, your business starts a whole new trajectory. Every number one earner I've ever interviewed, and everyone I work with a lot of number one earners, they all said that one thing happened, that one thing, that one thought, that one action, that one belief, that one conversation, that one podcast, that one video, that one thing that happened. Suddenly our business started going like that. What would that one thing be? Everybody knows. Because it's something you're not doing. It's something that you're pretending to do. It's something that you're approaching with weakness, not strength. And you need to get a hold of that TOT factor, because the TOT factor as a whole, with our team at least, it made all the difference in the world when people started getting real with themselves, getting honest with themselves, saying, yeah, you're right, that one thing would be this. And if I did this in 2024, my volume probably would explode. And that's one of the reasons why that we're going through this, because anybody can teach you how to set goals, do all this other stuff. We're getting down to the root nuclear core of why people don't achieve their goals, because they have never decided to. They've never gotten down to that one thing that's going to make all the difference, held that one conversation with themselves. It's a game changer. What's your thoughts on this, Alan?
Yep. Did you call on me, Doug?
Yes, sir, Alan. Yes,
great,
sir.
Great. So let me tell you about this. This slide is so powerful, and there's a statement that I want you to listen to, and I want you to write down, because it's about self-reflection, and that is this: when faith turns to hope, it's time to make a change. When your faith in yourself, when your faith in what you're doing, when your faith in your commitment turns to hope, and you're hoping and praying things will get different, you need to make a change. You need to make a change. And that change starts from within. That change starts with you. Everything starts with you. When you look around, and I agree with what Doug said, this year's going to be absolutely amazing in the industry. We're finally coming out of that COVID era, but also we're heading into a tough situation, recession-wise, economy-wise. Interest rates are higher. People are looking for an opportunity. People's incomes have not gone up, but cost of living has gone up dramatically. And people are more focused on their health, their well-being. And so it's time for you. You got to stop hoping and praying. You got to make the commitment to yourself. You see, self is what it's all about. Self-reflection, self-love, self-respect. You see, who's counting on you? Self-love, self-respect, self-worth, and self-confidence. Self-confidence all start with self. They all start with self. The change that you're looking for, you're going to find when you go look in the mirror, because the person in the mirror is the person that can create that change for you this year. Forget about what's gone wrong. Forget about what company did you wrong. Forget about what there's companies out there that are making major changes. Well, guess what? They're doing that. They're not focused on you. You've got to decide that you can make it. And you're one decision away. When you make that decision, when you make that commitment, when you say nothing's going to stop me, I'm going to make this happen. I'm going to figure this out. Your hope turns back into faith, faith in yourself, faith in the industry, faith in what you're doing. So remember that when faith turns to hope, it's time to make a change, and the change starts with you. Back to you, Angel.
Amen, amen, amen. Go ahead, Angel.
I mute myself there. I want to quickly just on this topic too. Those who know me very well here know that I made a decision in this last week that has completely changed everything for my 2024. And guys, if you know what that is for yourself, if you know when we go back to letting go of something or the negative people or changing your thoughts, or again, I'm going to come back to this. If you know what that is, do it. No matter how scary it is, no matter how much fear is attached to that, no matter what, do it. It is incredible what I'm experiencing in these last 7 days. God has opened doors and blessed that decision in a way that I could have never expected it. So there is power. If you know what that is for you, do it. And they're not always easy. Like I said before, decisions aren't easy, but do it. And when Alan just talked about self, do it for yourself, because you're the only one in control of your destiny. And God knows what that is for you. And if you know where God wants to lead you, let him take the lead and make those decisions. Stop holding on to things that are holding you back, because that's all they're doing. So we'll go on to the next slide here. I've got our things. What is your plan? And I love this one. Most people pretend to make a plan and then they pretend to be serious about it and work the plan. And again, I think we all do this, right? Oh, I'm going to sit down at the end of the year and make my plan for 2024. This is the rank I want. This is the size of the team I want. These are my income goals. This is what I want to do. This is where I want to go with my family. Next year is going to be better. And then we wind up the next year at the end of the year making that same plan and going, wow, I didn't do it again. And I think we get comfortable in the middle of the year once we start to see we're not hitting those goals. We get comfortable in going, well, maybe I can lean back a little. Maybe it's next year. Maybe it's 2025 that it's going to happen for me. They are fooling themselves. You're fooling yourself if you're just making a plan. Pretend only works in acting, not in success. And Doug, you said it yesterday. The fake it till you make it isn't a thing we're going to talk about here. You've got to be taking the action. It's time to step over the line. There's no going back. There's no other outcome. There is no other truth except massive success in 2024. And it will require the P.L.A.N for the new year. And we're going to go through this. Doug's been teaching for years. It's just conversation. Even now in AI, which is triggered by prompts, which is nothing more than conversation. So it's time to hold a serious conversation about your 2024 plan. And I love this because this is going to take you through how to plan for your 2024 in a way that you've never done it before. It's going to take you to that next level of what planning actually is. It's going to take you to that level. As we say, Dr. Doug has worked with and coached many top earners, 52 top income earners in their companies. This works. This goal that he's about to give is just huge. So Doug, I'll let you talk on this screen here.
Paul, how important is a plan, brother? A good plan, effective plan, not a plan, an effective plan. How good and how valuable is an effective plan?
Listen, and it's some sort of an opportunity in front of you without a plan is just a wish. It's just a dream. You must have a plan. Every good business, even in network marketing, is a business plan, right? You need a business plan. The beauty of what we do is the business plan is laid out before us. So nothing happens, no battle, no construction project, which we call them blueprints in construction, not a plan, but it's basically a plan. You have to have one. I don't know if you want me to elaborate, but
Yeah, if you could just give what are the traits of a good plan? What does it look like?
So a plan for the new year is not like I do this thing about, when I was a kid, we would have these blank notebooks. My mom would buy me those black and white marble notebooks, and I would love it because I have really bad handwriting. And when you get that notebook and you crack it open and it's perfect and new, and we think our plan for the new year is they're going to go out and we're going to get that brand new pristine notebook. But how are you going to really put your plan into action this year is not the new empty notebook. It's all the notebooks you filled up from Dr. Doug's calls up to this point, and taking all of those notes that you made, like I made. This is just third page of notes already from today. You need the scribble notebooks. Would you rather have an empty, brand new notebook that would belong to Albert Einstein, or would you rather have the ones that he filled up with all that information? It's time to put all of that data. It's time to put everything that you've learned in the last year, 2 years, 7 years in network marketing and put it into your plan for this year. It's not the brand new notebook. The other thing is, too, please don't rely on willpower. Willpower is fleeting. Here's willpower in a nutshell for me. I had really good willpower. Everybody came over to my house with Christmas cookies. I'm not eating Christmas cookies, right? The next day goes by. I'm not going to touch the cookies. The cookies go from a platter into a Ziploc bag. I finally break down because my willpower gives up, and I ate a stale cookie because I waited and I relied on willpower, which is going to fade. Stop eating stale cookies.
You know how much sugar I ate this Christmas?
I can only imagine. I can only
Zero.
imagine. Yeah.
Zero.
Have a plan. Willpower fades. The plan is eternal.
I did not eat one dessert. Zero.
Really? Good for you.
Go ahead, Angel. John Burton's got his hand
I
up.
actually did not eat a dessert either, so I'm with you on that one. I didn't even realize. I'm not a sugar person though. So John, you have your hand up. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm addicted to sugar. I'm all over the place, eating carnivore meal, but then eating sweets in between. I hope you guys don't mind. I'm definitely not going to walk on your leadership because I value all of it. Having the perfect plan is awesome. But in the Marine Corps, we have what's called adapt, improvise, and overcome. When you get dropped into the combat zone, so to speak, a lot of times your plan goes out the door within 1 second. So keep your mind on the plan, which is what I'm practicing, what I'm preaching right now. Keep my mind on the plan, but adapt, improvise, overcome those obstacles, which are the no's or the maybes. And that's what I'm looking forward to do, is to refine everything that I've learned over the past year, the past 2 years, with everybody. I appreciate it.
I love the fact he's a former Marine. Thank you for serving the country. Back to you, Angel.
You're welcome.
John, that's awesome. And thank you for sharing that, because that's huge, right? Being able to adapt, being able to pivot where you need to, being able to be okay when that plan doesn't work out the way that you thought it was going to, because most of the time it doesn't. And being okay with that instead of letting that feel like failure. If you set up to know that you're probably going to have to pivot in your plan, then you're setting yourself up for success.
Angel, I would like to say that most plans don't work the first time.
Right.
Most plans don't work the second time. As a matter of fact, most plans don't work the third, fourth, or fifth time because it's something new. If it's really new, then you're going to have to adjust to the plan. If it's just your typical plan, you'll go right into it smooth as silk and you won't grow. Make a plan this year that just absolutely is so uncomfortable in activity and results, expectations, because that is how that you grow your business, but also grow yourself. Back to you, Angel. Sorry.
No, I love that. Let's talk about the plan here, guys. So we're going to get deep into it. We're going to go through the whole P.L.A.N. P is for positioning. How do you see yourself positioned in 2024? And then change it. It is nowhere near where you can go in 2024. Enlarge it and then pursue a higher positioning, energy, and higher level of conversations. Recruit people.
Before you go into that other part, most people see their positioning in network marketing as a place where they are right now.
Mm-hmm.
Alan Newell, Paul Capazio, and several other people on this particular Zoom, they see themselves where they're going to be at the end of the year. Positioning in your mind is critical, but positioning also where you're going to be at new ranking and all this other stuff is incredibly important. But position yourself to a place by the end of the year that you look back, the only thing you can do is fall down on your knees and say, thank you, Jesus. Because if you're not positioning with larger, better, increased, elevated activity, expected results, even intensity, then to be honest, you're going to probably have the same year as you had last year. Go ahead, Angel.
Absolutely. And I love the higher positioning and energy and higher level of conversations. Start to see yourself as that end position. Start to talk like that end position. Start to talk like that person you want to become in 2024. It doesn't happen without you starting to be that person. And that's why when we say it's not the fake it until you make it, but start to have the belief in yourself that you can have these higher level conversations. When you just simply raise your energy, everything changes. And if you aren't in the habit of doing that, if you live in that lower level energy, you can expect to attract higher level things in your life. So if you live in that depressed, broke, things aren't working, probably won't happen again this time. When I hear people say those things, I'm like, well, don't expect differently, because you're speaking out into the world that it's not going to change, right? So changing your energy means changing the words and the energy that are going out there and expecting that you can already be that people and you'll attract them. Doug, did you?
Angel, I got another quote. I apologize for it. You just triggered it. What you speak, you seek.
Mm.
This year, let this be speaking out what you see in the morning, in the afternoon, in the evening, at the end of the day. What you speak, you will seek. It's biblical. So speak out a higher positioning as far as even yourself and your company. I'm sorry, that was one of those things just triggered. Go ahead. Sorry.
I love that. So we were talking either last week or a couple of weeks ago about the whole real estate side of things, right? That we're going to also go into 4 weeks of real estate recruiting, what that looks like in the economy right now. And real estate agents need something coming up into 2024. And we're going to be talking about recruiting people in that industry. But 65% of people today are living on paycheck to paycheck. And 62 million people are looking for additional household income. I'm surprised the 65% number is that low, to be honest, because most people I know are doing exactly that. They're cutting on bills. We talked about this last week too, and Doug, you said it so perfectly. Why are you lessening your income by cutting things out, by even changing the quality of the food you eat? All of that, you're cutting. Why not just make some more money? Why not see what you're doing is teaching people how to increase their income and explaining to them it's not just about increasing your income. You're actually cutting your income if you're cutting out on utilities, or you're behind in your bills, or you're not buying the things that you want. We are allowed to mentally live an abundant life. And most people think that by suffering, you're doing okay. You get comfortable in living in that fearful way. You get comfortable in living in less, because that is our comfort zone. So it's uncomfortable to want more. It's uncomfortable to do the actions and do the things that we know we need to be doing to create a better outcome, better results. That's uncomfortable. So we like to live in that comfort. And don't lie to yourself if that's where you're living right now and not thinking that's what you're doing to yourself. And that's the same thing with the people around us. These conversations that you're having with people, it's education. We're helping them to understand, when you're having conversations with people about what their 2024 looks like, or, how are they looking for any way to make some additional income? Well, yeah, I'm cutting back in this, but I don't have the time. Hey, what if I could show you a way to actually increase your income? Even if it's only $6,000 this year, where would that help you? What bills would that help pay? How are you covering for the cost of inflation? Just like we were saying the other day. Number 2 is the list. What are your list of actions and outcomes that will be a priority in 2024? And then those need to become a non-negotiable. You can't do this for 30 days in January and expect that in August, you're going to have results and have continued results. Whatever you do in January, you're going to have to do throughout the entire year, every single month, every single day. It means your mindset, it means your actions, it means the way you talk about yourself, it means the way you talk to other people, it means the way you hold your energy. This is work. And this all sounds like a lot, but this is what will change everything. It's not a joke of, oh, I hope and wish and please God, let this be the year that something amazing happens. Go and make something amazing happen.
There's a saying, Angel, I don't mean to interrupt again, I apologize, but in order for things to change, something's got to change. Something must be changed. Because things will never be the same if you're the same. In order to change things, something must change. It's got to be you, it's got to be your actions, it's got to be your belief, it's got to be your thinking, it's got to be all this other stuff that goes along with it. And this is one of the reasons why that if you're trying and thinking about, I need to change this, and this, look in the mirror first. Because in order for things to change, something must change first. Then it starts changing. Back to you, Angel. Sorry.
Yes. And change your list from last year. Do not rewrite the same list you had last year. Do not rewrite the same goals you had last year. Do not rewrite your plans and your vision from last year, hoping that this is the year it's going to come true. Start over. Start with a new, more powerful, bigger action. Because if whatever you wrote last year didn't get you to the point to achieve it, it wasn't big enough. You didn't have the desire enough for it. What do you truly desire? What kind of a vision and goals and results do you want to achieve in 2024 that's actually going to make you get up every single day excited to chase it, hoping that you even just reached it halfway? Because if you're making a mediocre list and mediocre goals, that's not powerful. It's not giving you that desire to go and get it because you're not even proud of those results. So this one I love. Think TAD, T-A-D, 2 a day. We talk about the 5 over 5 and all that Doug has taught on and Paul teaches on it. What about 2 a day, guys? And you might be like, oh, how am I going to get any success with that? Think in numbers. Even if you only worked 5 days a week and you talked to 2 people a day and you did that every single day for 5 days, so that's 10 a week. That's 40 a month. And what if you sucked at it and you only recruited 5%? You only got results from 5% of those actions. That is a very low result. And we know that only increases in time as you start to perfect what you're doing. But 5%, that would be 2 people into your business a month. That's 24 people in a year. How much better would your business look if you had 24 people actively working with you in your downline as your team, and you're a leader of them, and you're teaching them how to become leaders? How does that feel? That is results. Those are the kind of results you want to start looking towards. And then we know duplicating that and increasing that is only going to make those results better. But the 2 a day is something so simple that if all of us on here can't simply do 2 a day, then you really should just quit right now. Because what are you really in it for? Because that is a very small 2 a day for only 5 days a week. My goodness, that's nothing. And then include on the list a new rank. At least a 50% increase in income, at least a 50% increase in effective actions, and at least a 50% increase in the funnel, in the people that you're bringing in, and at least the 50% increase in conversations online and offline. And guys, we talk about accountability partners and having someone going to hold you accountable. Hold yourself accountable. Become your biggest competition. Look at yourself in the mirror every single day and say, did I do it? Am I comfortable? Would I want me in my business? I think Alan said that before, right? Would I want me in my business? Would I be excited about me being in my business right now? Would I be excited about recruiting me based on the actions that I'm taking? Or am I just completely failing the results that I'm hoping to get? So Alan, your thoughts on this?
Well, I agree with what you said, and I want to make sure that everybody understands. You know, we're on this call because you're here because you want more and you desire more. But let's not forget, you know, when you talk about 2 a day, I always talk about 2 a day, 10 in play. 2 a day, you're reaching out to 2 new people a day, and you keep 10 people in your funnel that you're working with, 10 in play that are possibly going to come on. But you want to make sure that your list includes also your gratitude. Gratitude does not mean satisfied. Does that make sense? A lot of people, they get frustrated and they end up quitting because they don't celebrate the small victories. I invite you to do this. When you make that list, if you contact 2 today, you celebrate that. When that person brings on that brand new customer, you celebrate that. So I want to make sure that we include that in our plan, because there's nothing better than being grateful and gratitude for the things that God's provided us, the successes that we've had, and also the successes, no matter how small they are, no matter how big they are. And I say that because, listen, earlier when you said, you know, Doug said, we've already looked at this year and what we're planning on doing, you know, yeah, listen, I'm looking at doubling my team and doubling my income in 2024, doubling it again. And I'm going to do that. But along the way, I'm going to be grateful for the small progression, the small changes, and I'm going to make correction as I go. Being grateful does not mean being satisfied. And see, for me, the more people I can help and the more people I can encourage and the more people I can inspire and keep them positive and let them know what they're capable of. You see, that's what I think people don't understand when they make their list You said make a list and double it. I think people are the negativity they feel, the frustration they feel is they don't realize their own capabilities and what they're capable of achieving. Because when you see these people out there, these 7 and 8 figure earners, if they can do it, you can do it too. So when you make your list, and when you think about when she said, if you can't do 2, you can do 2, you can do 4, you can do whatever it takes. You can do whatever's inside of you and enjoy the journey every single day. This industry, think about this. This is not digging ditches. This is not pounding rocks. This is not physical hard labor. But it's a lot of fun. It's not easy, but it's a lot of fun. It's simple, but a lot of fun. So when you make sure your list, realize what you're capable of, realize your capabilities, and realize what you're grateful for that you accomplished this past year, and then increase it because you're capable of more.
Angel, I want to, on that last part, include on the list, the new rank, include blah, 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 blah. 50% increase is the easiest thing you'll ever do every year. You're thinking, what? 50% increase is the easiest thing you'll ever do. It's only 4% increase a month, 1% a week. If you're making $1,000 a month and you want to increase it to $2,000 a month, say by the end of the year, which pretty easy to do, it's the next month you're going to be making about $1,040. Now you're thinking, I want to make more money than that. Well, then go do it because it's that easy. But the second month you're at $1,040. Why? 4% of $1,000 is $40. And then you take $1,040 times 4%, and you've got about $90, $1,090, and it adds up to the 12th month to where you're at $2,000 a month. Now, if you want a 50% increase by 6 months, it's pretty simple to go to 8% increase. It's just math. And how many new distributors or new customers are you going to need in order for that to happen with the average volume of an auto ship or people coming in, maybe averaging $100 a month? How many people do you have to talk to in order to find those people? And how many leads do you need in the funnel in order to hold conversations? And how many people do you need to contact initially to get them in the funnel? It's that simple. And we'll go through that in a minute. But 50% increase in income, that's cake. We doubled our volume for like 7, 8 years in a row. All we did was 100% increase.
You know, Doug, to add on to that, you know, I talk about this throughout the year with my team a lot because, and I say this, I say, hey, you want to double your business this month? You want to double your team this month? Because you're talking about how easy this is, and people get confused. They go, yeah, I do. But see, they think, how in the world am I going to do that? Well, you just get everybody to get one. Just get everybody on your team this month just to get one. You see, if you got 10 and everybody gets one, now you're at 20, you've doubled. If you've got 50 and you get everybody just to get one, just one new customer or one new prospect, one new person, purchasing product, you got 50 people. If everybody just gets one, you're now at 100. You doubled your business. So, Doug, your point is so well. It's just numbers. It's just numbers. You know, every time you say that, and you say it a lot because it's so important to repeat that to people, it's just numbers. It's just a matter of going, okay, I want to, how do I just get everybody to get one, and we're double the size we were last month. Back to you, Doug.
My mentor said success in network marketing is understanding the power of small numbers. Success in network marketing is understanding the incredible power of small numbers. But those small numbers must be done consistently over a period of time. And he said, everybody wants to hit the big and knock it out of the park and everything else. He said, small numbers consistently done by a large group of people will make you wealthy. So understand what we're talking about with the list and what we're talking about a 50% increase is understanding the incredible power of small numbers in network marketing. Because if you get that, connect to it, I'm telling you what, your 2024 is going to be on jet fuel. Now, I'm not saying not to do large projects, and I'm not saying work your butt off, because that's what I do every day, grind. But what I'm saying is, for people that are very, 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 very part-time, that's not going to stop. You shouldn't stop. You won't stop, because small numbers add up to huge success over a period of time. Back to you, Angel.
And those small numbers can't be zero. It doesn't work with the small number of zero.
Good
There-
point.
There's no duplication in zeros, guys. I wanted
Zero is
to,
not a number, I say. Zero is not a number.
right,
Zero is
exactly.
nothing.
Alan, when you were talking about gratitude and being satisfied and the difference in those, I was thinking of how truly people who truly live in gratitude are never satisfied, right? You're never satisfied because you always want more, not just for yourself, but for other people. Because when you start with just an attitude of gratitude, which we talk about, when you start doing that, you're not satisfied with where you're at because you see that the potential for more. And then as you start to build a team, you're not satisfied with their success because you want more for them and you want them to be able to hit those goals they told you about. So when you live in gratitude, you're really never satisfied because there's always more that you can be doing, always more that you can be blessing, always better you can be putting out there. And I made a note yesterday when I was talking to Dr. Doug, and I wanted to share this with you guys because for me, this was very powerful. Commitment is verbal, dedicated is emotional. Those two welded is walking in the fire. And really write that down for yourself and understand it. Commitment is verbal, dedicated is emotional, welded is walking in the fire. So if you take those two things and put them together and stay consistent with that and come back to that statement every day if you need to. Am I walking in the fire? Am I welding commitment and dedication? And if you're not, you got to make that change that we're talking about. Roland, do you have any thoughts today on what we've talked about so far?
Oh, a lot. I was just thinking about a bunch of stuff, but I know what Paul was talking about making a decision, and most people don't want to make it because it's uncomfortable. And one of the best things I ever heard was a tough decision is a tough decision, not because we don't know the answer. A tough decision is a tough decision because we do know the answer, but we don't want to do what we know, so we do what we feel, which a lot of times is nothing. So I thought that was great when he said that. And this thing, what you just said about commitment, I think that's great. One of my favorite things to say to people is don't let inconvenience exposes commitment. So people say they're committed to building their business, they're committed to getting healthy, they're committed to all this stuff. But until something becomes inconvenient, it exposes their commitment. So if people are they're committed to making a difference in their business, let's say, they're going to get on these calls, they're going to do their whatever it is, their daily activities, until their favorite show comes on, and now it's inconvenience, so it exposes their commitment. So we have to look like people that are not just making a commitment, but making a commitment to their commitment. That's why the gyms are busy the first of the year. I know because I've been going for 40 years. Just wait a couple of weeks, the parking lot will be empty, because when it's cold outside, inconvenience exposes commitment. So I just thought that was, I mean, I could go on about some other stuff you guys talked about. It's all brilliant, but those two things came to mind real quick when you called me.
I am so going to use that when I'm doing coaching this whole next year. I'm just going to, if there's an inconvenience or an excuse that I'm hearing, I'm going to be like, oh, so you're not committed. That's okay. Now at least I understand. I love that. All right, we're going to go through now the A and the N. A equals ascending. Here's $1 million question. Are you planning on ascending in 2024 or accepting? And that could be a painful realization. Are you accepting where you are right now? Have you been there year after year after year after year? Because then you're in the accepting mode. You're complaining about how it is. You're saying you don't like it, but you're accepting it because you haven't changed it. So are you going to ascend to the greatness that lies within 2024, or are you going to accept another year like you just had? Ascension, again, is a simple decision. Engage in more conversations and connections than you ever had before. We know what it takes, guys. We know what the work is. And like Alan said, it's fun work. Talk to people. Wow, fun. Unless you're not a people person, then you just got to force yourself to do it. But the results are worth it. So guys, think about that. Am I accepting? And look at, maybe if you've already written out your 2024 goals, are you writing out an acceptance? Are you still in that accepting mode, or will you ascend, and will you let yourself ascend? Have you ever thought about the fact that you keep yourself small so that you don't have to ascend, so that people don't have to see you doing better, so that people don't start to get a little bit uncomfortable around you because you're doing better, being better, wanting more? Because people, that whole crab theory where they want to pull you back down into the net with them if you try to escape, that's what you're going to experience. So when we talk about having a plan for ascension, plan on that feeling very uncomfortable. Plan on losing some friendships, plan on losing some acquaintances, plan on different conversations with your family, plan on people not understanding you. Because most people are not ascending in 2024. Most people are descending. So that's what you got to get comfortable with. Dr. Doug, do you have anything there on the ascending?
I think more than anything else, as human beings, human nature, we're more from the mindset we grew up with, accepting whatever life gives you. You know, one of the things out there says that's just the way life is. I disagree with that, because people that are really truly going after, really truly this year in 2024, they're not going to say that's just the way life is. What they say is, this is the way my life's going to be. Because your goals need to stretch you, grow you, and take you to a new level, ascend, if you will. And the only way that that's going to happen is you refuse accepting anything else. And we've talked about the rule of no other possible outcome. And this is why that when you start looking at your targets, when you start looking at your planned achievements, as I call them, you need to take it to a level that will ascend you either up the comp plan, up in income, up in volume, or up in skill set or something, but you cannot remain the same. Because the more that you remain the same, the more same you're going to have. And ascension is a decision. It's a very simple decision. Here's my question to everybody. What would happen if you decided that you were going to ascend to a height to where next year your income is doubled or tripled? What would it feel like? Where would you be? What would you be saying? This is why that accepting less than what God has planned for you, to be perfectly blunt, I just think that's horrible. Because God's got something huge planned in 2024. But you can't play small ball when people are talking big ball. You cannot play that game. Accepting is great for those that want to live in mediocrity and build somebody else's dreams or become who they are told to become. But ascension, the great ascent, as I call it in the Legend series book, the great ascent is where that you start making moves, start making decisions, and start making plans, moving to a place where you never thought was even possible. And it's going to happen in 2024. Go ahead, Angel.
I love that. Numbers. We're going to talk about numbers. That little word that gives us fear, numbers. That word that holds us accountable to our decisions and our goals. What are the numbers you are going to be dedicating to for 2024? New leads, new connections, new conversations, new exposures, new decisions. Write that down, because that's what you need to be working on. And I really challenge you to write down those numbers of what you think they're going to be, and then stop and think, what if Dr. Doug asked me what these numbers are? What numbers would you want to tell him? Not the numbers you're telling yourself. What are the numbers you'd want to tell your upline that's maybe making multiple 6 or 7 figure earners? If they came to you and said, what are your numbers looking like? Think of it from that perspective. Think of somebody with more success than you asking you what your numbers are going to be and what you would be proud to tell them, not what you're comfortable with, not with what you think you might be able to do. What is that greatness? What is that ascension? What are those ascending numbers that you're going to have? And your numbers should be at the level of what network marketing demands, not what you are demanding from network marketing. Because if you look at the past and you look at your history of how you've built and what success you've had in network marketing, are you demanding success from network marketing? Or have you decided that network marketing maybe doesn't really work for you? Maybe network marketing's hard. Maybe it's you don't have time for it. That's what you're demanding from network marketing if you're still in the same place that you were at the year before, the year before, and the year before that. Or however you're working your business right now. This might be your first year. How did you work it? Did you ascend? Did you keep committed? Did you commit and dedicate? Or are you just satisfied? So what does network marketing demand? And if you're asking yourself, well, I don't know, we've just told you. The whole beginning, this whole conversation we've been having with you, this whole training has been telling you what network marketing demands. Go ahead, Doug.
Angel, going all out in a barely in world is total victory. Going all out in a barely in world The world is barely in anything. It's just not committed. But when you go all out with commitment level that just absolutely nothing gets in your way, you're going through it, then that is going to give you total victory in anything that you do. Yeah, there may be setbacks, there may be resistance, but you get through it. That's as simple as it can be. Do not this year be one of those that are barely in. I'm barely working, barely this, barely that. Go all out when you do work, whatever hours you do work, and double the productivity in those hours, because you want to change you want to change your business, you want to change your income, you want to change your volume, change what you're putting into your hours. Back to you, Angel.
Can I add to the numbers thing real quick here?
Absolutely.
So, I came from the corporate world and I was in the restaurant business, and we used to say the numbers never lie. The numbers never, you can lie to yourself. You can blow smoke and mirrors. You can do a lot of things, but the numbers never lie. Every morning when I get up, I look at my numbers, look at my team's numbers. I look at where I am this same day of the month. This morning I looked and said where I am December 29th versus where I was November 29th, where I was over last year, what kind of growth that I'm having, what are my goals and how close I am to that. And I got used to that in the restaurant business, because every day, listen, it didn't matter when I had 3 restaurants, 300 restaurants, looked at the numbers every day. Now, as they grew, instead of looking at individual restaurants, I looked at regional numbers and district numbers, because the numbers would tell me a story. Your numbers will tell you what you want to know. Your numbers will tell you whether somebody's committed or not. Your numbers will tell you whether you're committed or not. Let me point something out to you. Vegas and the casinos, you know how much money goes through there, right? Do you know how often they do a total reconciliation of every dollar? Every 4 hours of every day, 365 days a year, they account for every dollar every 4 hours, because there's millions they can lose in 4 to 5 hours. And so if you want to know, if you want your finger on the pulse of your business, if you want to know how you're doing, if you want to know once you start studying it, and anybody that wants to understand those and wants to get with me, I'll be happy to share the spreadsheet that I use and how I measure that. Because if you want to be able to, those numbers will tell you a story every single day and every single week and every single month. When I look back on the months, like I'll say, oh, last month on the 15th, I didn't put down the number where I was. It kind of freaks me out a little bit, because I'm like, well, where was I? I don't know. But the numbers will tell you a story, and they will tell you the truth. It's so important to know where you are, where you want to go, and measure that out each and every day. Back to you, Angel.
Sorry, I muted myself because my cat was coming down here. First of all, guys, we're going to go longer today, probably 90 minutes today. It's kind of an expanded noon Zoom, because we have just so much content here. And because when we're talking about ascension and expansion, this is expanded as well, because we want your 2024 to be. But Paul, I want to go to you, because when Doug said that, going all out in a barely in world, based on the success that you've already had, the success you're creating right now, what does your going all, and I want you to share, because this is coming from somebody, guys, who's created the success. What does your 2024 going all out look like?
Well, you know what's funny? That's the thing I made the biggest note on. It's right here. I mean, you can't read my handwriting, but I wrote, going all out in a barely all-in world. It's the possibility of an overnight sensation. And we all say there's no such thing as an overnight sensation. Yeah, everything you've done up to this point is getting you ready for an overnight sensation, but you're in an industry. Doug, that meant so much to me about going, because that's what I did, right? When I was going for it, and I was working with Dr. Doug, and we were trying to change things around, a lot of people were leaving my company. A lot of major leaders left the company. He said, no, you stick right there. That created the ability for this. Everybody talks about an overnight success. I've been here 6 years, right? So the point is, you're in two things in an industry that really, really, really has to stand out to you. Because you say, well, maybe network marketing is not for you. If it's not, go try something else, because I'm telling you, it's much harder. Take it from a guy who ran a $1.5 billion a year company that was traded on the NASDAQ stock exchange, with the Securities and Exchange Commission looking down every sales brochure, every transaction. Even if you own a pizzeria and you want to double, you got to buy another pizzeria and you got to split yourself in half. This is an industry where, because of the way it's structured and that we could build teams and we could work together with other people, scale is probably the easiest of any business out there. Your ability to double your volume or even triple your volume is extremely possible here, because it's not just you working alone. Two things I got to point out, though, besides the going all out in a P.L.A.N world, is you keep seeing two words over and over again: decision and conversation. Decision and conversation, right? So here's what I want you to do on decision. Go back and figure out, what is the last real decision you made? Was it to lose weight? Was it to get married? Was it that? Do you know more people put more thoughts into starting a network marketing business than you do in having a child? And raising a child to the age of 17 costs $250,000. Are you telling me everyone who gets pregnant has $250,000 in the bank right now? So there's certain decisions we make that are really not even decisions. They just happen. So go back, figure out the last true decision you made and what did it feel like, because that's what you got to have, that feeling again. The other thing is conversations. If you go back to some of the previous slides and you talk about 50% increase in volume, a new rank, if you do the conversations first, everything else flows from there. If you're not talking to people, there's no one to expose anything to. There's no decisions to collect. There's no follow-ups to make. And I'm going to tell you, most of you are not where you want to be. If we were on a call together, it's going to come down to your lack of conversations. Always, every single time, right? Every single time. So make sure that your training plan or the latest book or the new video that came out from some of these gurus, that wear the salmon color sports jackets, which drive me crazy. But you're spending so much time when you could be here for an hour a week, get what you need, go back to your darn notes and start using it. Okay. And start realizing that it's so simple to do. You just got to make a decision. So the two most powerful things, and I'm going to leave you one last thing. Conversations, you're not having enough of it. I guarantee you, if we had the conversation, you're going to be embarrassed answering the question if I asked you, how many conversations did you have yesterday? How many conversations did you have today? How many conversations did you have 2 weeks ago? And you're not going to want to give me the number. The next thing is, what's the last decision you made? And I want you to embrace creative discomfort. Everybody's getting into an ice bath right now. Oh, I don't want to do that. It's cold, whatever. Your ice bath of your business is, you got to accept the discomfort of getting in that ice bath, of picking up the damn phone and having conversations with people to find out if they're even worthy of being in your business. It's an interview, right? When we talk to people, we're trying to find out if they have the skill set. If they're an introvert, don't pick up. Introverts can build this business too, by the way, guys. Absolutely. But if you're just getting started, I need you to be selfish. If you're not at the rank that you want to be at or need to be at, or financially at the number you need to be at, I need you to be selfish and focus on your daily method of operation. Don't take on any social projects. Don't be a social worker, right? Don't, because people could suck our time from them. Pick the people that you could work with and run with now. When you get to the point where you're making 6 and 7 figures and you want to have a couple of social experiments and help some people that you really want to make a difference in their lives, and you have the time for it, then you do it. I need you to be selfish right now. Because, they tell you, put your oxygen mask on before you help your child. That's a very difficult decision to make. But if you pass out, you're no good to anyone. All right. Festival of Failures. I want you to have a festival of failures. I want you to celebrate some of your failures as much as you celebrate your successes, right? And then kind of reverse engineer your failures to figure out what that was, because it may not be a bad idea. So festival of failures and embrace creative discomfort. And that's all I got. I got nothing.
I love that.
Got nothing. That was a lot, Paul. Thank you for that. And I love that. The Festival of Failures. I've never even heard that before. So that's
Love,
cool.
love.
Yeah.
Wow. Sorry. Go ahead.
When you said that that introverts can do this, and you guys may be surprised to hear this, I've always said I'm an introverted extrovert. And I did just a personality quiz the other day. I'm only 51% extrovert. So I'm 49% introvert. And that's because I need to decompress after conversations. I need to decompress after social events. You know, I love to talk to people, but that doesn't mean I'm an extrovert, right? And so if you're kind of feeling that way too, and oh, I can't be a Paul and I can't be a Doug and I can't be an Alan and I, you know, go ahead, Paul.
I want to say the same thing. I'm extremely shy. I can do this. I can get on stage in front of 5 or 10,000 people one-on-one when it's not about the business or I'm not helping. I really am a little bit of a shy person. And no one believes it until they really truly get to know me on a personal level, which very few people really get to do because I'm a shy person. And I really am, you know? So shyness and introverted, you know, you can do this business if you become that person you need to be, right? Every time we speak, we're auditioning for leadership. So be careful what you say. You know, and remember, even if you don't even have a team to talk to, that's the most critical too, because the person you're speaking to is you. And we could put some really crazy stuff in our head. But I'm sorry, but I am extremely shy on a personal level. And I know you'll never believe it.
And that's the thing, guys. So that's for people like that too. How much more do you need to stretch to become the person that is having the success, right? So it's not easy for anybody, but this can be so easy because Paul, when you said like for scaling and network marketing, guys, that is easy. It's decision and it's conversations, right? Just like we just said, how easy is that to scale? But instead, we'd rather say, well, I got to go get a second job. So I'm going to be away from my kids for 4 to 6 hours in the evening, coming home at midnight, getting up for my first job. People would rather do that to make more income than they would just to scale your decisions and scale your conversations. And how many of us have chased people in that mindset, right? People have said, oh, I'll take a look. Yeah, that sounds really good. I'm going to go get another job. Oh, you know, I'm sorry, I didn't have time to look at that. I had to go work, take an overtime shift, or I'm delivering for Uber now, or I'm driving for Uber now. What if they could have used that time to scale their decisions and their conversations, and you could have taught them how to build a network marketing, right? But don't chase those people, because those people are already saying that they accept that way of life. They're not thinking the way that of the people that you want to be recruiting into your business in 2024. So get comfortable with saying no to people or saying no to those people. Don't chase after people. Don't try to change the way people think. Go and do it for yourself and find the people that want to do that as well. So who is going to step up in 2024 and say, this is the year that changes everything in my home business? Go ahead, Paul. Oh, you're saying it? I was going to ask people to come out and claim this for them. So I want who's brave enough to come out and say it, and who's brave enough to raise their hand right now and say, I'm going to share. Did you decide what's that one thing you have to change? What's that one decision you have to make? And if you're brave enough right now to raise your hand and say it on here, I promise you that verbal commitment and all of us agreeing with you is going to put that decision into action. So anybody,
I'll start it out, Angel.
What's that?
Getting on social media in a big way.
Yes.
Don't want to do it. Hate it. I love social media, but I like to be an engager. Don't want to do it. But in order to get done what it's going to need to be done for the books and everything else that 2024 is going to bring. So am I excited about it? No. But I'm going to get through it and I'm going to make it happen. There's people out there with great content, but most of the content out there, to be perfectly blunt, is lame. So we're going to get out there with fresh thinking, fresh everything. And to be perfectly blunt, I'm a little intimidated by it simply because I'm not one. I'd rather be promoting you, Paul, Alan, whoever. But that's when I'm going to change in 2024. Just FYI.
Love it. We need more Doug out there. I was telling you, I got a text about a course, and of course, I'm not going to say what it is. I got a text about a course that I had taken 11 years ago when I first started in network marketing. I'm being invited back as an alumni, right, with a special discounted price, which is still $100. And I took a look at the content. I'm like, oh, I wonder how this has changed. It hasn't. It's all the same stuff that I was taught 11 years ago. And now Dr. Doug stuff, guys, it grows you, it moves you, it changes you. It helps you to keep accelerating what you're doing and growing and expanding your thinking. So I'm excited for this, Dr. Doug. It's going to be an amazing year for 2024.
Pray for me.
Pray for you. Laura, Laura, brave Laura, way to go. All these hands were going up. I was like, wow, everybody wants to share. Nobody's hands are going up. Laura, so good to have your hand up. Go ahead and
If the hands don't go up, we start calling on people, Angel.
all right.
Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Thank you, Alan, of course, for inviting me and my team of people. Like everything resonated, every single thing. I've been in a very stunted cycle for, let's be honest, for 2 years. I'm a good networker. I'm a good team leader, and I just haven't been in an environment that celebrated that or encouraged it. And I loved the part where you said you're either ascending or accepting. And Alan has been very patient with me. But I've definitely been accepting and basically just mad. So, you know, I've been really working on my plan for 2024, and ascending is, you know, where I want to be. I've never been a person who didn't think I would win. I've been in a weird mindset, and I really appreciate this and everyone sharing, and look forward to, you know, a fabulous year of ascending and helping others ascend, because we're in a very negative place in our world right now, and we really need people to take the lead. And Doug, I love that you're gonna be on social media more, and I find it funny that you're so amazing, and this is, I think, interesting for a lot of people that might be on here, that some skills we have, like I can go live, I can do anything, I'm social media queen. It's so funny that we have skills that other people want, that we admire, so we need to celebrate ourselves and the things that we're good at, and encourage the others to, you know, to
Laura, I
rise.
may have to talk with you.
Let me tell you about Laura, Doug. This lady is one of the most positive, inspiring, encouraging people out there. And I've noticed a huge shift in her in the past 30 days. And it took where she is right now for her to say, hey, 2024 is going to be my year. So watch out for her. She's a fireball. I mean, she's powerful. She's a great leader. People love her. She's inspiring. She's powerful on the camera. She's a great speaker and leader. And so she's going to rock 2024. And in this past 30 days, I've noticed a shift in her mindset, and where she's going. And I know now that she has lit that fire and she is ready to roll. So watch out for her. This is going to be her best year ever.
And the only other thing I would encourage people is to look at where you've been, where you're going, what you're accepting, and just know that if you need to move on from something, take the good, leave the bad. And God, and I loved what you said. Are you accepting less than what God has planned for you? And that is so powerful, y'all. But, you know, God is a loving father, and just like we want everything for our kids, we gotta ask for it, and we gotta be committed to taking those hard shifts.
That is powerful. Thank you so much, Laura. You're amazing. What you just said is something I have to remind myself of quite often. If I love my kids so much that I would give them absolutely anything, forgive anything, love them through anything, isn't it incredible that I have a father who wants even more for me, loves me even more? And so many times we get sucked into an identity that the devil wants us to identify with. But if we just stop and think that simple question, if your kids were feeling that way, how would you feel about them, and how would you want to help them? And he's sitting there with his hand raised, just saying, or his hand stretched out, basically saying, come to me, I want to help you. And that's the father that we have. So I love that. Yolanda, open up and claim it, girl.
Okay, so the first one, I'm going to go live more on all my social media. So I'm right there with you, Dr. Doug, and I am going to do it both in English and in Spanish. I'm also going to host more events so that I can share the business opportunities. And then I'm also committing to the planning achievements. That's what I'm going to do.
Love it. Yes, we agree with you. Go get it, girl. Love that. Mary Kay, go ahead.
Yes, I mean, today was so timely. I spent the last week thinking about all of this and knowing I had let myself down. And I'm going forward, taking God's lead and not mine. Thanks to all of you, but keep me in your prayers. More conversations and more addressing the devil as it is. Because there's a lot going on. Thank you.
You are in our prayers, and thank you, Mary Kay, for sharing and being vulnerable to share that, because that's hard right there, right? Being real and saying like things aren't good right now. And just knowing that just all of that is how you need to change. That's huge. So Mary Kay, we love you so much, and definitely will be praying for you, and reach
love
out to
you, Mary
any of us if you need to. Dr. Doug, were you saying something, or was that?
No, I wasn't. I
Oh.
think we just all need to pray for each other. So at the end of it, we may want to pray it out just
Sure.
for 2024.
Love that. Miss Whitney, what are you claiming for 2024? What are you changing? What do you know you need to do? What's your decision?
Hello. 2024 is going to be the year that changes everything for so many reasons. Just I'm at the end of the pool of muck, and I am walking out, and I'm going to walk on water as Jesus takes my hand and continues to lead me through this next year. And the thing that really hit me hard, just a minute, buddy, while we were talking, is that the numbers should be at the level that network marketing demands, and not what I've been demanding of network marketing and expecting like astronomical things to come from minimal action. Like, okay, I did this tiny thing. Like, why did I make $10,000 today? And so really stepping it up in that area, and hearing from God more and listening to God more as we partner together in this business, and not just me trying to force what I want to happen, but to hear what he has to say, even if sometimes that doesn't make sense, right? Like sometimes it doesn't even feel connected to what this other goal is that you're trying to reach. So to be more connected to him and listening to him.
When you were just saying that, Whitney, you said you want to hold Jesus' hand and let him lead you. He spoke through me to tell you, make sure you don't let go. So in 2024, just don't let go. Always hold on. Don't let go. You are beautiful. You will get it all this year. Amanda, what are you claiming for 2024?
Wow, you guys have me here in tears. Well, this was powerful. What am I committing? Definitely more of God, leading me. More conversations, more purposeful content. I don't want to do the same. More purposeful, like with meaning. And growing in my leadership. I need to grow more in that area. And something really quick, you were talking about introvert, extrovert, and I've been, evaluating myself. And I think it's what it's called ambiverts, that you're like in between, where you're an introvert and an extrovert. But I love what you said, because anyways, it has nothing to do, but when you said that, it came out. But thank you for sharing that, but that's what my take on it. More conversation, purposeful content. Thank you.
That's awesome. And you're already so great at all of that. You're just really ascending what you're already doing, right? You're so brilliant at all of your content and all of your training and all of that. And so God's just going to bless that this year, the more you continue to give that to him too, right? So we love you, and you're going to do amazing. Sven and Anna from the UK would love to hear what you guys are claiming for your 2024.
So emotional over here, because we came to you guys at the right time in our journey in network marketing, and some of the things that have been shared here tonight have really hit home. I'll be honest and frank. We want to help more people, and we have been accepting for years. Alan knows us personally, and I'm struggling to hold back the tears, because we have been accepting for years and years. And it's took this call to actually sit here and think, oh crap, we've got to change, because we've got lives to change. What's apparent here tonight is that we have something unique and really incredible with network marketing that changes lives. And why not us, right? And that's the mindset I've got. Why not us and why not other people? What we've also realized is that we need to be more selfish to help more people, right? We've been too giving of our time and not been selfish with that because we're not where we want to be yet. So we really need to focus and put the hammer down. And, you know,
that really hit home when Paul said that, wasn't it?
it was, thank you. And really, in all honesty, we've not until now positioned ourselves where we want to be. So a goal is to position ourselves where we want to be. I know we did the whole income thing with Alan on the back office, 25K months, which was huge, scared us. So tonight, this call has been sensational, and I just love and appreciate every single one of you. And I'm really, really excited. And we're claiming 2024 is going to be our year. As Alan's already said to us on the call, that next year is going to be our year. Our CEO said to me and Anna at this time last year, 2023 is going to be your breakthrough year. And he was right, because at some point this year, this happened. Meeting you guys, meeting Doug, Alan, Paul, Angel, every single year, Roland, like, I'm just so grateful to be here. Thank you.
We are grateful for you. I love that we celebrate that number for you, and just totally agree with it, and love that you had even breakthrough tonight and just realizing the acceptance, right, of what you were accepting. So that's huge, guys. Thank you so much for sharing that. Joy, go ahead and claim what you would like for 2024. What's going to change?
Well, I mean, this was excellent, timely, and it's such a blessing to be able to be on these calls, and definitely want to be inviting more people to be on the calls as well. The one thing that actually kind of stood out to me and feels like a huge motivator is when Paul said, "What was the last true decision that I made? And how did that make me feel? And what did I do about it?" And for me, that's very, very challenging, because I don't have any doubt what one really true decision I made and how it made me feel and what I did about it. So if I can look at my business and think about what would a true decision about my business really be, and then what would I do and how would I feel about it? So I have that history, and that's my commitment for 2024. And I loved, way in the beginning, someone said more in 24. So,
yes, absolutely. That's the motto for the year, right? Thank you so much for sharing, Joy. Appreciate you so much. And we definitely see massive things for you in 2024 as well. Christy, go ahead and claim what you would like for 2024. What's going to change?
No, without a shadow of a doubt, it's really significant, and mine would be breakthrough. I'm a very spiritual person, and so I truly believe in everything that was spoken. So I mean, there's just so many nuggets that I took away from today, but I think the biggest is my breakthrough, and is the positioning as well as just focus. I've had a lot of, whether it's family issues or derailment, or it just seems like, you know, I've been in the activity and doing the action, and, you know, it's the fruition of, you know, but I believe truly, as well as just in the positioning, like when I'm closing someone, is just to really, I don't know. I guess I was in a moment recently where we were closing someone, and we did a 3-way call, and I was just like, I just felt, I don't even know how to explain how I felt, but I was just like, that was a moment where I just really learned from the strategy of what I'm going to do differently in the next phone call. And so just learning, like what you said, learning from what you could take and bring on into this next year. So I'm claiming it. And I have incredible leaders like Paul and Angel and all these calls, and inviting people to the new. It's the new season. So I'm declaring it.
Absolutely. And I think with you, Christy, like all I keep on hearing is, do you truly know what you are capable of? Because we see it, and you are capable of it. And so as we work together more on our Tuesdays and start to have our calls, like I think that's really something we need to focus on, because we need to take what you see you can do this year. And I want to stretch that, because I know you're capable of so much and just have so much potential in this coming year. So it's going to be
Yeah, I
fun.
want to just say something too to Christy. Christy, you said something really powerful there. You said, well, I didn't even know how I felt, but I know we're on this three-way call and we're closing somebody. I learned so much. That's exactly how it happens. You got to get in the game, and you'll make that play so much better the next time, and you'll start to recognize, like, oh my God, this reminds you of that call I did 2 years ago where the guy said no, but yet he's that personality, or this guy's like an angel, this girl's like an angel type personality, or this person's like a Paul type personality, and you start putting together personality types. And you may need to speak to, you may get 3 no's from a Paul Capozio type, because the 4th time you'll close them every single time, because you'll just get that relationship. It's not faking, it's not mirroring, it's just understanding how to speak to that type of person. But
Right.
great job, great job.
Absolutely.
You know
Proud
what
of
Paul just, what I want to add to what Paul just said, and that is this. You know, we do these calls every Friday, and you've heard so many people today talk about, hey, what they've taken from this call and how it's impacted them. And so invite people to this call each Friday, because you never know. You have that person who gets on the call and hears that one thing, here's that one pearl of wisdom, here's that one encouraging comment, here's that one prayer, here's that one thing that literally changes their life and their business for their family and generations to come forever.
I really believe that.
Yes. And that's such a good point too, Alan, because I think there's maybe not necessarily some people on this call, or maybe if you're dealing with this, you really got to address this. If you are holding your team back from this call because you're afraid of them being on and seeing somebody else they like or something, you need to change that thinking, because that is not abundant thinking. If you're taking this information and going back to your team and training on it, they're not going to get the same impact of being here with the leaders. And you're not leading them properly if you're not saying, hey, come to this call. This is where I get fed. You need to come and get fed here too, right? Don't have that thinking. Drop that thinking that you're going to start losing people because you are hoarding. And if you're a hoarder and if you're afraid of losing people, they're going to go anyways, because you're micromanaging and you're trying to control. Let go of that control. Whatever will be, right? Nobody here is recruiting. Nobody's doing any of that stuff. We are having conversations. This is a mastermind, right? We don't do that here. So feel free to bring your people here, because they will benefit from it. This call was huge today. How many lives got impacted? So
Angel, I got jumping out of my skin, because if you think you're going to take this information and write it down and you're going to go back and you're going to teach it to your team, my team is here. Alan's teams are here to hear Dr. Doug. Okay. And I know that I think these calls for a prospect, a good, solid prospect, are almost better than an opportunity call, because if they know what the business is and they know it's network marketing and they like your product or your service and they're still hesitant, it's because they don't know if they could do it or not. They don't know if they have the skill set or not. And this is where you get that. Okay. So if I have my team on here and I'm the #1 trainer for my company, okay, and I have my team here, you could bring your team here. Have an abundance mindset. Don't worry about it. Let Doug do what he does best. And we'll throw a little salt and pepper and sprinkles on it every once in a while. But guess what? Because we're all trained by him, right? So do that and your business will explode. Don't hold so tight, right? Because all you do is crush it.
Absolutely.
Sorry.
Alonso, go ahead and share and claim your 2024.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And first of all, I'd like to, wish everybody a safe and a happy New Year for 2024. But my goal actually for 2024, of course, is stay plugged in with with Doug. Because I've been plugged in with Doug for the last couple of centuries. He gives great training. And great, inspiration, and also getting to stay plugged in with, with Alan and, Paul, even though I, get to hear from Paul on Fridays, but, myself and, the other crew, deal with, Doug every Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, which is a great thing. But my 2024 definitely is going to be, an explosive year for me, and also for the people that I get to bless with, with my business, if they decide to accept my blessings, because, God gives each and every one of us, the opportunity to be and do whatever you want to do. But when someone brings an opportunity, to help you to expand, your life, and you decide not to take it, well, don't feel bad because they decided to not get involved in your opportunity. They're the ones that's missing out. And God gives us that, gives us that opportunity to share the information with folks. And if they don't want it, hey, you did what you were supposed to do. So, like I said, 2024 definitely going to be helping a whole lot of people in 2024.
Sorry, muted myself again there. That is awesome. And we agree on it for you. And we say yes, and love having you here. Love getting to see you every Friday when we come on and hear from you and your wisdom as well. So thank you so much for sharing that. Well, we've got 2 more hands raised. We're going to stop there, guys. And then we're going to wrap it up here. So we don't keep you all day. We need to let you go and work your business. Rochelle, go ahead and share.
Hi, everybody. So I am pretty new to this group. I think I've been on 3 times, but I will say that it is a kick in the butt that I really needed. It's like, what are you capable of? I know I'm capable of so much more, and I haven't been doing it. So it's a reality check. I've been too accepting of things that have happened, and that has to change. And I know a little bit what I'm capable of, but I know that there's so much more that I don't know. And little numbers, I need to focus just on those little numbers instead of trying to do big things and not seeing the results. So it's the little numbers and consistency that I need to change. And Paul is always talking about conversations. It's conversations. It's all about conversations. And that's what I need to do. I need to have obviously more, but they also need to be quality conversations and focusing on what the end goal is, which is obviously to help people find what they want and what they need. And then I had been accepting of my situation, which I already talked about, so I won't repeat it. But this has been every time I've been on here. So now, instead of forgetting not the time, I'm looking forward to it. So I'm so excited about that, and excited about a new 24. That's it.
Yes, love it. You're going to do amazing things in 2024. And you have one of the most attractive personalities, and you're so energetic, and you're so much fun, and your content's always fun, and people like you. And, just continue with that too. And know that you're drawing people to you because they like you. You're so lovable. So just continue with that too. And we're always here to support you. John, go ahead. You're welcome.
Yeah, that was awesome. My goal is to reach the rank of coach this year in my company. I don't want to just practice what I preach. I want to take what y'all preach, and that even someone who makes less money than me, what they preach, if it works, it works. Leadership that's what it's about. And I want to just piggyback on what Alonzo said real quick. I'll paraphrase it. There's an old story of a preacher that his house was getting flooded from a big flood. So he climbs to the roof and he's asking God for help. Someone save me, and God help me, help me, help me. And a person shows up in a boat and says, hey, hop in, I've got a life raft and all that stuff. He goes, no, I'm waiting on God to help me. And then, to make the story short, a helicopter shows up and drops a rope and a ladder and says, hey, hop on. He goes, no, it's okay, I'm waiting. And so anyway, he gets drowned anyway. He goes to heaven, and he says, God, what happened? He goes, well, you kept asking for help, and I kept sending you help all the time, but you turned me away. So that's how I feel when it comes to reaching out with what I think is a blessing to people, and they say no. It hurts, because it's not just like it's a protein shake or something like that. It's something with an opportunity that can really change lives. And it's like, look, just because I'm not rich yet doesn't mean I don't know people that are successful in direct sales or free enterprise. Learn that concept. And it's just really difficult to try to snap people into it. So I got to get better at how I reach people, because I have the message, but how do I connect with them? And that's what Paul talks about all the time. Have authentic contacts with people, relationships, and not think about the money. So divorce the outcome and marry the process more in 24.
John, I
Yeah.
wish you all the best for 2024. You're one of the most honest people I know about your own personal struggles and your own personal successes and everything. And I'll tell, and first of all, he sends a canoe first, then it's a powerboat, then it's a helicopter. But don't forget, you're sending the canoe for people. You're sending the powerboat for people. You're sending the helicopter, but don't forget to take it when it's sent to you. And that's by the training and the coaching and all of this stuff. You know, we could only give it to you a little piece at a time. And I know you take it because I hear the words back, you know, and then I hear your interpretation of it. And when you add things, and I think you're going to be an amazing leader. I think what you did in Florida was phenomenal. And I know that it may not be happening as fast. And I think that's a challenge for people. We don't manage the expectation of what to expect in network marketing. You know, this is not something you're investing $100,000, $200,000, $500,000 in to build. You're investing a lot of your time. But if you can build a 7-figure income or 6-figure income or a high 5-figure income on the side, and it took you 3 years, it took you 5 years. I talked to a lot of leaders that it took them 7 years before they even made a penny in the industry. And then all of a sudden it just exploded for them. And these are people with you know, multiple 7-figure incomes. It'll be there for you. And I know, John, it will happen for you. I just do. I wish you all the best in 2024.
Yeah, John, there's been breakthrough for you already. I feel it when you got up on stage in November there, that was one of those pivotal moments for you that I definitely know you're stepping into something different. So we love you. Guys, I'm so excited about this screen right here. You have no idea. And Dr. Doug, like he said, he's not one to talk about himself and what he's doing and all of that. Guys, launching in 2024 is the Legend series. I have had the absolute honor of being able to read the first 3 books in this series. I am so excited. It's just incredible. When you get your hands on these books and when you get these books into the hands of your team, when we talk about 2024, guys, it is going to blow up if you simply read it, understand it, follow it. The secrets and the strategies and the mindset that are in these books is absolutely incredible. I read Legend, and Legend is Dr. Doug stretching you, starting to help you to truly see what's inside you, the legend inside you, what you are truly capable of. This is what I've heard Dr. Doug pour into my life for the last 10 years when I first found him on the Millionaire Road radio show. And this is what he was speaking out there. He speaks in a different way, guys. When we talk about the salmon suit gurus out there, that they're not growing you. Right? They're teaching the same stuff. Like I said, I got a course that I took.
They're billing you, not growing you. They're billing you.
Yeah. This grows you, stretches you to see you, what you can possibly be. And then the next book after that, oh my gosh, when we talk about team building, it's just absolutely insane. But guys, there's going to be so much coming from Dr. Doug this year. Make sure you're following him on social media so you know when the book launches. We'll, of course, be talking about it here. There's going to be multiple books, coaching courses, all of that. There's so much coming from him. I'm so excited because honestly, guys, this industry needs somebody like Dr. Doug to come in and fill this space. Because there's nothing new like this. There's not somebody like Dr. Doug out there sharing and training and coaching and building and just with everything that he does. So Dr. Doug, are you excited? Does this make you uncomfortable?
I don't know who you're talking about, but I'd like to meet this guy.
No, we're really excited, Dr. Doug, and thank you for pouring into the profession the way that you do. I am so excited that this is getting out into the world and about everything that's about to happen for you. Dr. Doug's going to have the kind of 2024 that we're all going to dream of. So it's really exciting, guys. Make sure to share this noon Zoom with people, invite people, make sure they're here getting this information. And then as the books launch, we're going to want to make sure that everybody gets their hands on them. So Dr. Doug, I'll let you close us out today. Thank you for spending extra time with us here. Thank you to all of you who hung out with us today, because it really is setting up your 2024. What happened today will completely change what your results are going to look like, as long as you do dedication and commitment. Put them together. Go ahead, Dr. Doug.
First and foremost, thanks, Angel. I don't have the video on for multiple reasons, but I really appreciate it. I know you're not feeling well, and you did an awesome job. Thanks, Alan. Thanks, Paul. Thank Roland. Thanks to all the people, Amanda, Whitney, all the people that participated. Most importantly, though, I want to real quick just ask God's blessings upon 2024. Father, in the mighty name of Jesus, we just come before you. And Father, you said, whatever you ask in my name, my Father will do. And Father, in the mighty name of Yeshua, I ask you to bless the Elisha anointing upon every single person that watches this video. Father, Elisha looked at Elijah and said, I won't double your anointing. And Father, you blessed him not only with it, but multiple other things. So Father, I ask you to Elisha anointing upon this, dear God, and everything that they do, bless them twice next year, dear God. Father, thank you for all that you're doing in the businesses. Thank you for all that you're doing in our families. And thank you for all that you're doing, dear God, with every single thing that's happening. And Father, I decree and declare that 2024, dear God, is the year that changed everything for so many people to be watching this video. And I ask you, dear God, at the end of next year, dear Lord, they look back on the year and all they can do is cry and say, thank you, Jesus. So thank you so much, dear Lord, for all that you're doing, all that you are. The glory belongs to you always, dear God. Everything we do the glory belongs to you. So we just lift up our hands, dear God. And even though, as the song goes, I don't have anything fit for a king, but Father, we do have our praise, and we just praise you in the most holy name of Jesus. In Christ's name we pray, amen. Go ahead,
That's
Angel.
powerful, guys. I don't know about you guys, but I receive the Elisha anointing for my 2024, and I hope you do too, and continue to receive it and continue to speak that and continue to thank God for it. Thank him for it right now, as though it's already done. So I love that, Doug. Thank you guys all for hanging out with us. Thank you, Paul, Doug, Alan, Roland. It's so great to hear from you guys. All of you who raised your hand and had that boldness to come out and share what's going to be different, what it's going to look like. We love you so much. Praying for you guys, and just can't wait to see and hear the success stories, and wait till this time next year and hear what's changed in your 2024. We love you guys. We'll see you next week. Happy New Year.